Thank you, Madam President. I stand here this evening before you with immense gratification and certainly a sense of pride and humility. I am incredibly grateful for the vote of confidence that the board has shown. It was clear to me.
A few years later.
We're breaking into programming right now to bring you breaking news. Des Moines Public School Superintendent Dr. Ian Roberts has been detained by Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
Deportations have got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Deportations have got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Deportations have got to go. We cry. Our rights we will maintain.
The school superintendent and former Olympian Ian Roberts has been arrested by ICE and no one knows why. I suspect it's racism because Ian Roberts is a black man, and after the recent Supreme Court rule.
Several days later.
More mind-blowing details surrounding the foreign African national who somehow became the superintendent of the largest school district in Iowa, making nearly $300,000 a year. 52-year-old Ian Roberts was taken into custody by the Justice Department yesterday on firearms charges, and this is after his arrest by ICE agents last week revealed he was living and working in the U.S. illegally. Joining us right now to discuss is Defending Education's Director of Outreach, Erica Sanzi. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Dan.
You know, so much information has now come out. I feel like there's something new every single day on this case. The New York Post now reporting that Roberts was a, quote, pathological liar who never attended MIT, who was the subject of a couple of sex discrimination lawsuits. I know you guys have also done some digging as well. What have you learned?
This is going to be a movie, I think, because there is so much drama unfolding. The MIT thing, for example, was new. I knew that he had a ton of claims about educational institutions, but what I wasn't aware of was that he also was making claims that he was going to be attending, I believe, MIT and I think also maybe Harvard Graduate School of Education. So just a pathological liar. But I mean, major problems here. He lied on his I-9 form about being a citizen. He is registered to vote in Maryland, where he doesn't live, and also he's here illegally.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we got to follow up on the bombshell story. I think probably one of the most fascinating stories in this country right now. A story that CNN and MSDNC, they're avoiding like the plague, okay? Because they told us that stories like this never, ever, ever happen, okay? We have an illegal immigrant who was in this country for years, decades, okay? And he was able to essentially reach heights that most Americans dream of reaching, right? This guy became the head of a large school district, making over $300,000 a year. Okay, that's a nice fat check out in Iowa as a black immigrant, right? In a country that's supposed to be systemically racist, right? But apparently that systemic racism and xenophobia and hate and bigotry did not stop, again, this black immigrant from reaching heights that, again, most Americans would dream of, right? I think most of us would dream of having a $300,000 job, okay? A nice cushy job, like a government job. And this guy achieved that, right? Now, turns out that not only was he in the country illegally, but he's a criminal. And on top of that, he basically faked his way to the top, right? His whole background, right? And basically everything about the guy, his education, all that. Fake. This dude's ancestors have to be from Nigeria because he's putting the common Nigerian scammer to shame, okay? He has pulled off a scam that, I mean, you honestly would only see in a movie, right? I'm just saying, like, there's going to be some Netflix documentary about this guy because some of these allegations we got to talk about here are insane. Like, for example, when he was a principal at a school in Maryland, allegedly this guy pushed teachers to give the kids fake grades, right? I mean, he basically tried to push his fake lifestyle onto kids at school, right? By, again, pressuring teachers to give them grades that they didn't earn, allegedly. Take a look.
Another round of allegations is surfacing against Ian Roberts, the former Iowa superintendent arrested by ICE agents last Friday. Roberts was hired at multiple school systems across the country despite having criminal charges and deportation orders. On his 2023 job application obtained by the Associated Press, Roberts falsely claimed to have had a doctorate in urban education leadership from Morgan State University. The university confirmed he never completed that program. Roberts is also accused of registering to vote in Maryland. His name, birthday, and address appears active on public voter rolls, though state election officials say records do not show a voting history.
And as we know, Roberts also spent nearly 8 years working for Baltimore City schools. New tonight, we're learning he's been accused of pressuring teachers to change students' grades while serving as a Baltimore principal. Fox 45's Rebecca Pryor live with some of the details of this for us. Rebecca.
Yeah, Mary, as if this list of allegations wasn't long enough already, Roberts is now being tied to Baltimore City's long-standing grade-changing scandal.
As the controversies surrounding Ian Roberts continue making headlines nationwide, tonight, Fox 45 uncovering an old lawsuit revealing new allegations stemming back to his time with Baltimore City schools. While serving as the principal at Friendship Academy of Science and Technology, a teacher accusing him of pressuring staff to improve students' grades without cause, even for classes they never attended. The teacher, who was later fired, suing the school system and Roberts for wrongful termination. The lawsuit alleging Dr. Roberts' actions were meant to make a failing school appear successful. That was back in 2009, but the lawsuit wasn't filed until 2013. In turn, the school system successfully arguing the statute of limitations had run out. BCPS also claiming the teacher harassed and threatened school leaders, including delivering a bat to the HR department with a letter reading in part, "I hope it feels good to beat a teacher." Another message reading, "This is why children are not learning."
Wow. Again, a plot straight out of a movie at this point. Okay. Unbelievable stuff. But what I find to be really hilarious about this is the fact that these leftists, okay, they defended this guy before all of these allegations came out. When ICE first arrested this guy, they said, "Oh, see, this is racism." they're trying to bring down a black man, right? And a black immigrant. We have to have radical empathy. Okay, the woke school board was defending this guy, right? Initially, when this story first came out, as if ICE somehow, some way, okay, got it wrong, right? Like somehow, some way, ICE got his immigration status mixed up, which is the narrative that they want to put out there, that ICE is deporting U.S. citizens, right? Even though that's not happening. ICE knows, right, exactly who they're going after, and they got one. They got a big fish with this guy.
On behalf of the Des Moines public school community, I want to provide an update from district leadership and the board on the current situation unfolding with our superintendent, Dr. Ian Roberts. Before we begin, it seems fitting to take a page out of Dr. Roberts' book and ask the community to engage in radical empathy as we work through this situation together.
Yeah. Radical empathy for a fraudster, okay? But now that all this information has come out, the woke school board, the woke school district, they're now turning on this guy, right? When they was championing him, they were defending him, they were protesting the streets, they were boo-hooing and crying, "Oh, it's racism!" Right? Now they've changed their tune. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Now, former school superintendent Ian Roberts is now formally charged by federal prosecutors in Iowa with one count of being an illegal alien in possession of firearms. It comes after officials discovered conflicting information about his past. Law enforcement found an illegal firearm in his car, and Des Moines police then raided his home and found more illegal weapons. News Nation's Rich McHugh joins us live. Rich, what is the latest on Roberts?
Hi, Nicole. Well, listen, this story gets more bizarre the more we look into it and the more we uncover about this man. He was once revered by the Des Moines community as Dr. Ian Roberts, but now we know he has federal charges against him for being an illegal alien in possession of firearms. And that appears to be just the start. In Department of Justice documents, we're learning more. He was never a U.S. citizen. He filed for permanent residence 4 times, 2001, and 3 times in 2018. Each time he was denied. Since December of 2020, Roberts has not had lawful authorization to work here. In May of 2024, Roberts was ordered removed from the country. When he was found, he had a loaded gun in his car when they stopped him. Inside his home, they found 3 more guns, a pistol, a rifle, a shotgun. along with multiple firearm magazines. And this, as more of his fictitious past comes to light. His official bio in Des Moines, they say he was named George Washington University's 2013 Washington, D.C. Principal of the Year. But George Washington U tells me the university has no record of awarding such recognition to D.C. principals and did not present this award.
Wow.
For years, he went by doctor. His official bio says he completed programs at Morgan State, but Morgan State tells us no. Ian Roberts did not receive any degree or certificate from Morgan State University. He left his last position at Mill Creek High Township in Pennsylvania amid several sexual discrimination lawsuits for this job in Iowa. But at the time, the school board in Mill Creek raised questions about his doctorate, according to minutes of their board meetings we obtained. Quote, Dr. Roberts lacked the educational certificate from his educational facilities that he obtained his doctorate. Now, I asked his attorney, where did he get it? You referred to him as Dr. Roberts. Can you tell us which institution he received his doctorate from?
Yes, it was, I know it, the International School, Trident International, right.
Now, Trident International University, that's an online university. Certainly seems that most of his bio, Nicole, is falling apart. He's going to remain.
That probably fake too. I mean, let's be real. If you get a doctorate from an online university, it's probably fake, right? It's definitely fake. Does that really count? Okay, does it really count to get a doctorate from an online university? I don't think it's legit. And I think the funny part is, again, you got all these people running around calling this man doctor instead of Ian Roberts. They call this man doctor. Wow. Again, you have to wonder how many more cases are like this in the United States, right? Like, you can literally fake your way to the top. This is fake it till you make it to the extreme. This dude was successful. He was successful. And the only reason he got caught is because he actually got deportation orders. And not only that, the Trump administration decided to actually pursue him, right? If Biden was still in the White House, right, there's a good chance that they probably would not have went after this guy, right? If Kamala was in the White House, we know damn well she would not have went out. Like, he would have been fine, right? He would have been totally fine. It is a shame that this could happen in this country, right? This should never happen where somebody can fake it like this. Again, we've been living life wrong, right? The people that have been doing it the right way, right? When you fill out your resume and you try to be somewhat honest, you've been doing it wrong, right? Apparently, this is the way to go because the systems that we have, right? The checks and balances don't work, right? Apparently, you can just lie on your resume and end up as a superintendent. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. The people who did the background check on this guy, who looked into this guy, they should all be fired because they did not do their jobs, right? You failed. You failed miserably. And there's a lot of people who need to be fired for failing.
Remain in federal custody pending further review.
So, Rich, where does the Des Moines School Board stand on all of this?
Well, they're kind of floundering. They had a meeting this morning after initially backing him and saying, look, we need to proceed with radical empathy, which was a page out of his book. They've pivoted. They've obviously consulted their attorney. They had a press conference this morning. They are filing suit against the firm, the background search firm that ultimately greenlit him. Here's the head of the board. Take a listen.
The firm failed its duty to properly vet candidates. Ian Roberts should have never been presented as a finalist. And if we knew what we knew now, he would never have been hired.
So that's Board Chair Jackie Norris effectively trying to distance the board from blame. We'll see how that works, Nicole.
So you see that, you heard that, right? The board is now distancing themselves. They're saying, listen, well, the firm that we used to do the background check, the hiring, the looking into the guy, it's their fault, right? It's their fault. After saying that we need radical empathy, right? We need radical empathy. And now all of a sudden, again, they're trying to play the blame game, okay? This is one of the most fascinating stories of 2025, but I think it really shows you that this stuff is out there. And again, the question is not if it exists anymore. It is how prevalent is it, right? I mean, we already knew it existed, right? But Democrats deny But reality is that, yes, our country, unfortunately, illegals are allowed to essentially have the same rights and privileges as citizens because of the fact that you have these Democrats giving out driver's licenses, social security numbers. I mean, giving them all of the documentation that they would need to live a regular, normal life. And we don't have checks in place, right? Checks and balances in place to make sure stuff like this doesn't happen. I mean, this guy even registered to vote as a Democrat. Now, they say he never voted, but still, he could have voted, right? And I'm not even convinced that he didn't vote, right? I'm just saying that the fact this guy was even registered to vote, it just shows you how easy it is to get over our system. And this stuff has to be changed. It has to be fixed because it just shouldn't be allowed. Stories like this just should never happen in a country like this. But unfortunately, Democrat leadership, they have set up a system where, again, the intent is to allow illegals to have just as many rights, if not more, right, than American citizens. And that's what we have here. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.